Wrestle Addict Radio HQ, representing kings of the rings to the fullest. King Ricky made the hot tag to Willie T, and out of nowhere like Randy is the Queen Bee. K-Fay brother, 400 plus in the bag like money in the bank brother. See when they pod, it's the opposite of common. Look at the comments, crowned at a certified top 10. You heard? Kings of the Rings pod. Throw up a too sweet when you see the squad. Like a chop in a, I know you feel it. Kings of the Rings are the illest. Kings of the Rings are the illest. Kings of the Rings are the illest.
Oh, we take 2 weeks off and we have just seen enough, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 402. I am your host, King Ricky Rose. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We are live on Twitter. Not on Twitter, sorry, my goodness, because Twitter doesn't exist anymore, so we X that out. But we are live on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comments, and links to all of our stuff are in the description below. With me, back again for the very first time, he is the host of the Ringside Club and Signature Move Show podcast. Most importantly, he is the creator of our brand new Jammin' theme song, A.O. Baker. How are you today?
Peace, 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 man. I'm doing all right on this fine Tuesday evening, man. Thank y'all for having me once again.
Well, thank you for coming back with me as well. Somebody who's experiencing his first meat sweats in his 30s. Will Tarashak, how are you?
Meat sweats? I don't know about meat sweats. I'm like the only one who didn't get sick after all that meat.
I had a cold. I did not get meat sweats or sickness from Fogo de Chao, so.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was a good Fogo. That was a good Fogo, except Jazz 1:30 in the morning. Yakking up. You know what it is? She's used to well done meat. So like
well,
all that
sense.
medium rare and rare meat was just like in my stomach was just like no.
Yeah, not happening.
But yeah, I am wearing this John Cena headband because he may have broken up with me, but motherfucker, I am not breaking up with you. I'm not giving up on this relationship. That's for damn sure.
Man then turned into the crazy ex.
Yup.
Fogo question. How many rounds before you turn the sticker red?
I don't know, actually. I don't know how many rounds. We should have counted because I did not count at all. I know we all fell into the trap because I haven't done Brazilian barbecue in like decades, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we figured out what we were all doing, you know, and then they're like, oh yeah, just go to like the salad bar and the appetizer, you know, and then your food will be out ready for you soon and everything. And I forgot that as soon as you sit back down to eat your like salad bar stuff, the meat just keeps coming out rapid fire.
Yeah, they don't stop. Like, how many rounds? That's not a fair enough question. It's how many times you eat the same thing twice.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because they bring you all that meat, right? And they're like, all right, we've done the looper meat. We've done it 1.5 times. Bring them the honey cheese. That'll fill them up.
Oh, the honey cheese
and they'll get the fuck out of here.
Keep it coming, man.
The honey cheese is the ender.
Yeah.
The honey cheese is the ender. The honey cheese was great though. I was like, you guys should have came out with this earlier. Yeah. But Fogo was great. It was an amazing time. Welcome to the 30s, Will.
I made it.
Yeah, surprisingly enough. But yeah, in other news, Mr. A.O. Baker. Now I know you and your boys at the Ringside Club, the entire crew of the Ringside Club, went it was in Jamaica, right? Jamaica, Queens, to House of Glory Wrestling on the Ides of March 15th for everybody who likes Shakespeare. Thanks, Miss Green. And you got to see a headlining event by Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. So tell us about this House of Glory experience, because I have never been. I've always wanted to go. I've heard great things about HOG, so tell us about it.
All right, so they call us the NYC Arena. It's Club Am Missouri, and it's in Jamaica, literally right by the train station. So super easy to get to.
Okay.
Except, you know exactly where it is. You know exactly where it is. It's very easy to get to, but this particular event was not easy to park because Mercedes definitely brought some folks out. I went with my boy Ron. So I drove, Chad drove. Boog was there. Ron drove. Took Ron about 40 minutes to find parking. But Boog got there, I think, 2 hours before the show started. So he was the smartest out of us. Like there was only one other time I remember that many people being there. Swerve, maybe last year I believe it was, or the year before. Before he won the world championship, so it was a little while ago. But he was AEW Swerve, and his momentum was pretty high. Yeah. Other than that, I don't remember that many people. It was packed. It was super packed. The wrestling club, which is this after school program in shouts to Victor Perry, who's the teacher. They had a whole section. There might have been about 50 kids there, all in the same shirt.
That's definitely a Mercedes thing that she did, because she's been affiliated with them for a pretty long time.
Although they do go, like every time I've gone to House of Glory since I heard of the wrestling club, they've been there. But just maybe not that many kids, maybe 30 instead of 50.
I wish I had a middle school wrestling club growing up.
Kidding me? Like,
God, you kidding me? Forget it.
Like
that's right when I got into wrestling.
I would have never done athletics.
Like after school, they just chill in school and watch wrestling. Like, how cool is that? But it was dope, man. It's like Indy Hartwell versus Mercedes was the second to last match. There was a tag match with the main event versus a couple of folks, but main event won that. But great showing for Indy, by the way. You know, like Mercedes is definitely like Ric Flair status as far as I can have a good match with anybody. And I'm not taking anything away from Indy. It's just that Indy hasn't always been known for the work. Indy's known for, you know, but that was a really solid match. Shouts to House of Glory for the copyright strike that I got on my YouTube channel. That was a fun one.
They copyright strike.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I recorded the entire 20-minute Mercedes versus Indy match and uploaded it. I uploaded it when I got home.
Yeah,
that'll get
really
you.
Yeah, you know,
can't really do that.
That'll get you.
Next thing you know, there's 10,000 views, a couple hundred subscribers go up, and then strike.
Did the subscribers stay though?
I lost one. That was
okay. It. So it's a win. It's a win.
I lost one.
It's a win.
But yeah, like other than that, like there's a good House of Glory is always a good time, man. Like I love smaller venues in general better than bigger venues, because no matter where you are, 100%.
Yeah,
no matter where you are, you can see, the prices aren't too crazy. Like 2 beers, $20 with a $2 tip. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm in friendly territory instead of $15 for 1 beer.
Exactly.
20 for 2.
Did you ever do La Boom in the Evolve days?
Long. Not for Evolve. I don't remember what the show might have been. But not for Evolve.
We did a lot of Evolve shows in La Boom. It was perfect.
I'm trying to think of the wrestling promotion I used to go to when I was like early in college, late in high school. It's Biff Busick.
I'm gonna say the one with Biff Busick
there. Yeah, it was either Beyond Wrestling or like XWA. But it did tiny venues. There was one in Pawtucket. It was tiny, but so there was like seating, and then if you got the right ticket, you could do floor seating where you could stand around the ring. So it was like every match was like a giant lumberjack match, and except we couldn't get involved. But
almost like PWG, like they're on the ring, basically. Like
standing, touching the ring while like I'm calling Cassius Ono, Kevin Nash. Or watching Joey Ryan put a lollipop down his pants and like feed it to Colt Cabana.
Oh, it was a different era.
Yes, it was a completely different era.
I haven't heard Joey Ryan's name in some time.
It was just like, and I saw Biff Busick blade in front of me. Like he was under the ring blading at my feet, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." Indie wrestling, indie promotions are
little blood on the shoelaces never hurt anybody.
Worth it if it happened. It was worth it. But yeah, like those support indie wrestling, dude. If you can go.
It's always the best. Danhausen was there. Danhausen versus Mantequilla, which means butter in Spanish, or it was Danhausen versus butter. That was a good match. Mantequilla is a dope. He's a mainstay over at House of Glory. Anybody goes to House of Glory is gonna have a good time. I've never had a bad time at House of Glory.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty raucous crowd.
Yeah, man, because it's small, intimate. There's a lot of regulars there. They have at this point they probably do a show once a month, maybe once every 90 days.
Yeah, I know their next
once every 60 days. Once every other month.
They're in Chicago, and Cedric Alexander's debuting.
Yep, he's debuting. Yep, in April next month. They're at the point now where if it's not once a month, it's once every other month. And so they have people specifically for the Queens crowd. Like I see a lot of the same people every time.
Mm.
And they also do, just like any other indie, they have their signings also. So there's some times where they'll bring like the bigger names out to do the signing. But this time Mercedes was actually wrestling. You know what I mean? But that's where I met Scott Hall there. I met Jake the Snake Roberts there. I met Mark Henry there. Not this time, but just in general at House of Glory. Be pretty interesting if I met Scott Hall this past Saturday. Like, what kind of?
I'd be like,
what kind of show was this?
It is crazy. Zilla wrestled too. Zilla fought too.
Zilla fought an opening match. Yeah, he's
hell yeah, damn
crown jewel champion. Is like their IC title basically. He's the fourth world champ at Westside Guns Promotion, but he wrestled. Who the hell did he wrestle? He wrestled Dijakovic.
That must have been a fun match.
Yeah, Dijak, opening match. I actually saw, funny thing, I told you about how long it took to find parking.
Yeah.
Chad came in, I don't know, 15 minutes before the show, and then I saw Dijak. So he got
came
there
as late as you
maybe
guys.
7 minutes before the show, first bell, probably in his gear already, and then was the opening match and put on, a really, really solid match with Zilla.
That's a pro right there. I'm low key. I'm not low. I'm starting to become a fan of Zilla, especially since I met him. I had like a 10-minute conversation with him at Comic-Con.
Nice.
He was just chilling. He actually introduced himself to me, which was kind of wild. So he's also a big dude. Like
he is.
It's a big man.
Yeah, he's a solid stocky guy. Yeah, exactly. Like you're not gonna move him.
No. And he's like what, like 20?
Yeah, he's a
something
young.
Like he's very young
guy. He's a young guy.
Where does he fall in the bloodline? Who is he related to?
I'd have to look at the chart. He's down there, but he's coming.
Yeah, I think he's like age range probably younger even than Solo, but around the same. I think they're on the same line, like the same.
So somehow the Rock's cousin.
Something like that.
I'm the Rock's cousin, bro. So what is that really? What are we really saying?
Yeah, so House of Glory, Mercedes Moné, obviously she won because it's Mercedes, and you're not going to let your headliner not win against Indy.
Right.
But Indy did well too. I think Indy is a world champion in Australia again.
Nice.
That's your thing. So it's good. We're going to see a lot more of these people coming out because the first wave of releases from I think fall are just now getting cleared. So a lot of people are going to pop up. I know Baron Corbin popped up recently.
Jones just got cleared. So he has passed his 90 days.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Odyssey Jones. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot more people. Tegan Knox is probably going to pop up somewhere as well. So they're all going to start popping up places. But let's move on to some interesting WWE news. Backlash is not going to be anywhere else in Europe. It's actually coming back to the United States. Ironically, it's coming to St. Louis, the home of Randy Orton. And the only people announced for this that they put up in the opening graphic was Randy Orton and John Cena. Obviously, Backlash is going to be the first PLE after WrestleMania. And it's interesting that it's Randy and John who have been promoted for this, which could leave a bunch of doors open for what might happen at WrestleMania. But what are your thoughts, Ayo, of Backlash returning to the U.S.?
I mean, not so much about returning to the U.S., but if I'm not saying Randy versus Cena would definitely be the match, but we're getting that at some point. Like Cena's during this run, he's running back all of those classics, classic rivalries anyway. So we'll get the Punk, we'll get the Orton and all of that. Backlash is fun, man. Like I remember we were just talking about because 316 Day was the other day.
Yep.
And the pod that I was on BGW, Black Guy Wrestling Pod, and we were talking about just Austin memories in general. And a lot of times when I see Backlash, that logo reminds me immediately of like Rock versus Austin. I think that was the last pay-per-view that The Rock was a part of the corporation before Shane turned on him and he got thrown out. But Backlash is good. Like in general, Backlash used to be the rematch, the WrestleMania rematch pay-per-view. So
remember when it was called WrestleMania Backlash because somebody thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, it's like, bro, we know exactly what this is. Let's just kill all subtlety, right? Like we got it, Vince. It's just so he remembered what the hell it was supposed to be.
Probably.
Gonna name it
for real.
WrestleMania Backlash, so I remember where in the calendar this is supposed to fall.
Exactly. He looks out of it.
Yeah, we'll get different variations. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we get the Gunther versus Uso rematch and just have a stipulation on it. 2 out of 3 falls here, no holds barred there, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, something wild might happen there. Other things that are announced in our absence is Clash is now looking to be the very big European PLE because it was Clash at the Castle. They were in Scotland before. Now we are going to Paris, France. Clash in Paris at the Paris La Défense Arena.
Is that really the name? That's disappointing.
What? Paris
Clash in Paris.
It's Clash in Paris, yeah, not Clash at the Castle.
There's no castles in Paris.
There are castles. There are castles in France, not in Paris.
But give me a little alliteration here, like plunder in Paris. I don't know. Something with a P would have been fun.
Did I have a bigger issue with the logo? Like, why is the Eiffel Tower in between the C and the L?
So that you know that it's Clash. I mean,
why
so that you know it's
A?
in France. Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be the A then?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Art direction here.
Yeah.
There's so many things about that upsets me. Oh, God, man.
Listen, they're trying. I think they just like the Clash logo too much that they didn't want to get away from it.
This is Kalash in Paris.
Kalash
in Paris. The first A is silent, obviously. That's how you say it in French. Yeah. With Charles is hey, Sir Charles. He's
you.
Yeah. It's going to be a doubleheader. Obviously, they're going to do Clash in Paris Sunday, which is going to be a Sunday. It's the first time they're doing a Sunday one in a very long time. I just noticed that.
Dude, I like the Saturday pay-per-views. I like them so much.
Yeah, and then Raw's going to be back next night on Monday. So a very, very different approach to this. We'll see how this plays out, especially the timing. Since it is going to be in France, they might get away with it being on a Sunday because it's going to be earlier on in the day for us in the U.S. at least.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
They'll be able to get away with that.
Like I didn't watch Monday at 3:00 on Raw on Monday at 3:00. I watched it later I watched it late last night. But
spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free. I managed to avoid spoilers.
Nice.
So
yeah,
I didn't mind. I got into bed at 10:00 and just put on Raw from the beginning.
Yeah, I think it was at bed at 10. You know how weird it is to watch Raw in the middle of the day and then not know what to do for your Monday night?
I can imagine.
I was like,
well, guess I'll go back into GM mode.
Like, do I do GM mode? Do I read? Do I start preparing to go to bed? Like, what do I do now? Do I call somebody? Like, I was so flabbergasted. I was like, I don't know what to do. There's so much time. It's a horrible thing of working from home.
Space to do activities.
Exactly. It was like luckily the weather wasn't nice. I'm like, do I go outside for a walk? Like, take a light jog? Like, what do I do? What's up, T-Dog? How are you doing today? Thanks for joining the show. Moving on, I don't know if this is actually going to work. However...
Oh man!
Breaking news as of
I did not see that comment.
This just happened a couple of hours ago before we did the show, and I saw it. I was like, "We have to talk about it."
We do.
Yeah, we do. Sorry. WrestleMania. WWE has decided that Sunday night after WrestleMania Night 2. So presumably after Cody and Cena, they are going to have the Roast of WrestleMania featuring as the Master of Ceremonies, Tony Hinchcliffe. You may have known that name for the disaster that was the Tom Brady roast on Netflix. They have hired him to host this.
I mean, disaster. Tom Brady roast was fucking awesome.
It was a disaster.
It was a disaster. Okay, that's a debate for another day. But continue. I'll let that one slide. I apologize.
Yeah. It's going to be from the Fontainebleau Theater in Las Vegas. The Fontainebleau has a theater there, Blue Live Theater. This does not appear that it's going to be a televised event on Peacock or any streaming service.
Smart.
This is just going to be for whoever's in attendance. They did say that there are going to be some performers that are going to be doing some roast, including Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman, and there was someone else that was announced as well on their official announcement of this. I don't know where to start, so Will, take it over. Yeah,
I do. So it's important to know who Tony Hinchcliffe is.
Yeah,
he is like if Jeff Ross was more vulgar in terms of roasting people. Tony Hinchcliffe is also a huge mark. Tony Hinchcliffe is a massive WWE fan. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did this shit for free because, like, yes, he's one of Rogan's buddies. When I think Ric Flair was on the Rogan podcast, Hinchcliffe was there. So, like, this guy knows his stuff about wrestling. He's been a fan forever. He hosts a popular show, Kill Tony, which is where he gives comedians 1 minute he gives people 1 minute live and then roasts them for how good or bad they are, and then gives them a joke book and, like, you know, has reoccurring people. So Tony Hinchcliffe is one of the top comedians out there today. You know, that's why I forgot he was a mark. So I was like, wow, this is really inappropriate because he's fucking Tony Hinchcliffe. But no, this is going to be great. It's going to be a phenomenal show, and I hope they do televise it somewhere because I'd fucking watch it. I mean, say what you want about the whole Puerto Rico joke and all that whole debacle. That was a dumpster fire, Ricky, as opposed to the Tom Brady roast. But no, this guy is going to do a great job. He's got to know what you're getting into, right? He is a shock roast comedian. Like, that is what you're getting when you pay to see him. So don't be shocked if he says some crazy shit. You make you go, wow. That's what he does. That's his whole shtick.
That makes sense. The video for it, so I'll get to you in a second. The video for it is like 46 seconds that they put online. And it's Triple H talking to, like, Wade, and it was like Wade and someone else. And he's like, all right, you know, so when WrestleMania ends, it's still going to be a little bit early. So, like, what do we do? And they're like, and Triple H's like, what do we do, a roast? And whoever's next to Wade is like, that sounds like a terrible idea. And Triple H is like, you're right, that is a terrible idea. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I know a guy.
Yeah. So that's their promotion for it. So, Ao, what are your thoughts on this being an added thing to this, what's looking to be probably the most expensive WrestleMania weekend ever, looking at all the prices of everything else?
Easily.
I haven't seen the prices.
You don't want to.
No. Since the first time I opened any of those links, and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. This looks like a watch party type of vibe.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I mean, look, man, this guy, the Puerto Rico jokes, that was trash. The same thing, like when he had Rick, I don't know if this was a different time, if it was on Rogan's show or not. I just saw a clip of it, but Rick got up and walked out because of this Tony's jokes about, some of them crossed the line as far as jokes about his kid that died. Ooh. You know, and Rick just got up and left, like, all right, I'm not going to be a part of this shit anymore, and walked off. I think it might have been Rogan's. But
that might have been Kill Tony.
Yeah, he got up.
Yeah, that probably was Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I see no reason why Rick would want to patch it up, but Rick has probably had issues with people in the past and they've worked it out. I don't know, man. Not a fan. I've never watched a full Tony Hinchcliffe show. This will not be my first. If I was there watching live or if it was streamed, either way, I wouldn't be watching that shit. Not a fan. But, you know, to each his own. If this is your vibe, enjoy.
He's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say I hate him, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna try and defend Tony Hinchcliffe's comedy. I know you're getting into.
Yeah, so this is gonna be interesting what comes out of this, what we hear from this, if we hear anything at all. You know, this is also gonna be in the same theater where they are going to have the Hall of Fame, which is looking very small right now, by the way.
When is the Hall of Fame?
It's Friday night.
They usually do it like after SmackDown, right?
It looks like it's gonna be after. It's going to be after SmackDown.
It's in the same arena, though.
It's going to be a different arena. So either they're going
That's what I mean.
So either they're going to pre-tape SmackDown.
That's what they should do.
Which I agree with. They should pre-tape SmackDown, and then the Hall of Fame is live. Or they haven't really said anything about it. Like when you think about it,
because if you're performing on SmackDown, right, or if you're a wrestler, and then you want to go to the Hall of Fame because you're invited, it's like
it's hard.
Getting around Vegas is not easy.
No.
The traffic is a bitch, and WrestleMania weekend it's going to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Even with like the private cars and the big Humvees, whatever it is they use,
Navigators,
the limos, the Navigator, yeah, those are the ones, right? And
Escalades,
I don't know where the arena is, but I do know where the Fontainebleau is. The Fontainebleau is near the Westgate, which is by the Convention Center, which is sort of near the Sphere. So
yeah. So do you know where the Luxor Hotel is? The Pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the arena's close to that.
Next to that, so that's not close.
The rest, no, well, not the T-Mobile arena. I'm talking about where WrestleMania is going to be at Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play.
Allegiant Stadium, yeah. But I'm saying that so the SmackDown is going to be in the arena.
In T-Mobile, yeah.
In T-Mobile. So that's near the giant pyramid.
No. Allegiant Stadium's by the pyramid. T-Mobile, I think, is further down.
Is
Further down.
this a situation where it's like the Garden, like they have the theater? It's technically the same building,
No.
or are these two different?
No, these are two different buildings.
So
the fountain blue is the hotel.
Yeah, that's also the official hotel of WrestleMania that they're giving discounts and stuff for.
Yeah.
So
the fountain blue is a dope hotel.
Yeah.
Hashtag discounts. Right?
So WWE's really seriously, before we move on, taking over with all the arenas and the housing that they're going to book. So you have WWE World, which is clearly going to be at the Convention Center. The Hall of Fame and this roast with Tony Hinchcliffe, it's going to be at the Fountain Blue Live Theater. You're going to have SmackDown, Raw, NXT Stand and Deliver at the T-Mobile Arena, and then WrestleMania 1 and 2 at Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play the football arena. So it is truly a giant takeover of stuff that they're going to do for WrestleMania, and Lord help anybody's wallets who decide to go out for this, because it's a lot. I went to Toronto for a reason.
Everybody except for West Side Gun and that dude with the green smiley face shirt.
He's got to sell drugs.
Okay.
He has to sell drugs at this point. Right. Yeah, it's got to be drugs. It really has to be. Speaking of drugs, I finished the AEW Revolution. Anywho,
how many drugs did you need?
Not much. It was just important. We'll talk about it real quick. AEW Revolution happened a couple of Sundays ago, March 9th. And as someone who's starting to watch AEW a little bit more, I liked it. It was really good. You had some classic matches for the most part. Every match, as long as the card was, pretty much hit for me. I was like, wow, this is surprisingly a good match. Wow, this is surprisingly a good match. Like, Mercedes' match, even though I knew she was going to win against Momo, I was like, wow, this is surprisingly a really good match. You know, Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, I knew it was going to be a good match. I didn't know it was going to be that good of a match. Tony and Mariah May, the Hollywood ending was...
I've heard so many good things about that match.
It is...
Yeah.
If they did it the right way, it would have ended if they booked it, it would have ended the show. And I thought it would have been a perfect ending to the show with the way that they ended that match. But they didn't, obviously, because Mox and the title you don't see had to come on. So, well, I don't know if you're aware.
What do you mean the title you don't see?
Okay, all right, let me explain.
Is it a John Cena title?
No.
Since Mox won the championship, he's kept the world championship in a briefcase. So we literally haven't seen the official world championship in probably months. 6 to 7 months, somewhere around that.
Yes. The biggest title in all of AEW has been behind the briefcase for months.
Who thought this was a good idea?
Mox. This is his storyline. He's still running the Death Riders hostile takeover of AEW, you know, that NWO rebrand. That's not really jumping off well with anybody.
Again, yay. Just what we needed.
You know, so the match, even Swerve and Ricochet was actually a really good storytelling match as well, for the most part. Like, all the matches hit. I would recommend, you know how good the match was, Will? Vaughn texted me about Mariah May and Tony Storm.
All right. That's a statement.
Vaughn Nash, by the way, Ayo, Calvin's little brother. So,
man, aged me.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, man.
Sorry about that. I will say this. There's a spot with glass in Mariah May and Tony Storm that you will enjoy. Yeah, there's a spot with glass. That's all I can tell you.
Good amount of violence, not only in that match, but just throughout the card, salt and peppered in there. There was a good amount of blood.
It's a good amount of AEW blood. Yeah. You know, average AEW blood. All right. So back to this ending of the match. You have the main event. You have Mox versus Adam Edge Copeland, or Cope as he likes to go by these days. And it's a match because Copeland's like, I'm gonna win, you know, the title, blah blah blah, from this briefcase. The title that you still don't see. Okay, so the match is going on. It's an okay match. Based on everything else you saw, it's not the best match on the card by and large. So it looks like Edge is about to win. And then Edge gets pulled off of Mox by somebody dressed up in all black from under the ring. It turns out to be Christian. Christian then unzips his jacket and reveals the contract that he won at All In. Essentially AEW's Money in the Bank. The only big difference is Christian just has to sign the contract. Instead of presenting a briefcase, he just signs the contract whenever and he automatically gets a title shot. So he does.
That's clever.
Yeah. So he does this. By the way, Will, Christian's the first one to ever have this in AEW.
Yeah, and he failed.
Okay. He gets a triple threat and he fails. He literally takes the loss. Mox bully chokes him out.
Honestly, dude, that's the most Christian thing I've ever heard. Christian's always been a number 2.
There was a running joke, AO, about Christian's in there so that Edge didn't have to take the pin.
I wouldn't even say that was a joke. I think that feels accurate to me, brother.
My concern with this whole thing was I compare it to the first ever cash-in by Edge, ironically enough. If Edge loses the first cash-in, that gimmick is dead in the water. So when I see Christian be the first one to do this gimmick and he loses, why would anybody care about that moving forward when you do it again at All In?
Hopefully, it actually is dead in the water and we don't do this again. I think one Money in the Bank gimmick is enough. We've already got that at home. We don't need another one type of vibe. I don't know. I think like the other problem with that match, not only it ending, but just the way that they approached it is when you have a card with as much craziness as we saw with like everybody going, 11 on a scale of 1 to 10 in pretty much all of the big matches. And then the world title comes and now they're, just calmly cruising at a 5, 6, 7.
They were coasting through that match.
Yeah, it just the whatever intensity that you need in a main event world title match, they didn't have it, man. At all.
All for a belt you don't see.
For a title we haven't seen.
Yeah, all for a belt you don't actually see. And
Biden
that's Revolution
was still
for
president.
Actually, that's correct.
We saw the title during the Biden administration.
We haven't seen it during the second Trump administration. That is a good barometer, actually.
So much has changed.
So much.
It's like the title wakes up from a coma. It's like Kamala won, right? It's no, buddy.
Right?
He's gonna wake up and say Joe Biden won, right? You go, whoa.
Well,
wait a minute.
First,
a lot to catch up on, Belt.
So you're telling me he dropped out? So you're telling me he dropped
Worse.
out?
He debated first.
Where have I been? You've been in a briefcase. It's like when Captain America woke up from being frozen. You've been asleep, AEW World Title, for over 70 years. Are you gonna be all right? Yes, but I had a date. Oh god!
Hey, it was
at this point,
great show though.
Yeah, at this point, it was a good show. It was one of the better shows. At this point, this title better come back brand spanking new. I don't want to see the same title. Like, if you're going to hide it, it needs to be brought back with something special on. Like, make it spin or something. Like, do something different.
God, they did a spinner belt. I think the internet would try so hard to defend it. Meltzer would try so hard to be like, this is the greatest thing in wrestling. And everyone would see through it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It would be great. But something that we cannot see through is John Cena turning heel in not Germany, but Brussels. As I mistakenly texted somebody about that. But John Cena.
Brussels sprouts.
Yes. Home of the waffles. Belgium, Brussels and Belgium. John Cena went off and got what I can only describe, because I was in the crowd when this past thing happened, can only be described as Roman Reigns just beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania heat.
Yeah, the heat was really good. The crowd played their part very, very well.
Yeah.
The "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant legitimately gave me chills, because I was like, dude, I haven't heard it that chant that energized.
Maybe ever.
In almost a decade, if not a little bit more. Like, it was just like, okay, here we go. Turning heel was 100% the right move.
It was supposed to be Cody, as the dirt sheets would say.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
And Cody said no.
And Gort said no.
Yeah, Brian Gort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Cena hit a lot of notes saying, like, I felt like he was breaking up, but I also felt like he was gaslighting a bunch of people. He was like, I gave you my all and you just wanted more. And I almost wanted to say, like, John, I'm not Nikki.
I was about to say, like, that whole segment was probably very triggering to Nikki. Think about how many promos he's cut on her at breakfast.
You take. What about me?
This was a regular breakfast conversation for them.
But what do I get? What do I get?
Coincidentally, over Belgian waffles. I didn't want Belgian waffle. I wanted French toast, Nikki. You know, you just take and you take.
Dude, I'm not gonna. Towards the end of the promo, though, he kind of started getting like energized again. It's like, oh, there's babyface Cena coming out again.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't fully bury that babyface person. And as great as the promo was, when Cody came out, it was just like, I don't want this. I was kind of like, yeah, I don't want this either. Because Cody's whole point was, I want to fight John Cena at WrestleMania. Whatever this is, I don't want to fight that. And I was just like, yeah, Cody, you're right. Like, I get John Cena's whole message of, you don't get new gear. You don't get new music. Your time is up. My time is now. I clapped. I fucking clapped.
Yeah,
I popped so
that
hard.
is classic heel move. You don't get what you want, because for the last 2 weeks, we were like, he's getting new theme music. We started guessing from an 05 album what theme it was going to be. You know, he's going to get new gear. Maybe he'll wear tights for the first time. And he's like, no, I'm still going to be this guy. You're just going to hate me for it now. I was like, that's brilliant heel work.
100%. Like, I was same boat. I thought 100%, like, he's stripping away whatever we know of John Cena last time we saw him, and we're getting everything. He might shave his head. You know what I mean? And he came out, and at first I'm like, it took me about 2 or 3 seconds, and I'm like, this is really, really smart, because everybody that would have, wanted that change would cheer.
That's true. Yeah.
Everybody that wanted him to come out in a black tee, who then saw him come out in just regular Cena merch, was disappointed, and so you didn't have to turn them. We already aren't on your side. And then basically he just had to cut the promo on the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that cameraman did dastardly work spotting that kid in the crowd in full Cena regalia.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That was the 50 Cent. What did he say? Fuck me for? Me. That's exactly what that was.
That kid is going to be a world villain in 20 years.
Oh, he's a legend at school the next day. I guarantee. He was a legend.
Dude, when Cena goes, oh, I see you all wearing my gear. Don't worry, you're just as guilty too. I was like, me? What do you mean?
What do you mean, John?
Not me. I support you.
He was so close to saying, as I'm listening to his promo, when he's like, what about me? I wanted him to say, what about Raven? He was so close. He was so close to saying, what about me? What about Raven? I was like, please just say it once. But it was a brilliant promo.
Kid Cena.
John, he was so mad. I think the funniest part, the only thing I didn't agree with him with was he goes, you guys made an invisible joke and kept it going for 15 years and you still think it's funny. It's not funny. I'm like, John, objectively, it's hysterical.
It's funny. It's funny. It is. I laughed. I was like, I'm glad he mentioned it, because it's fucking hilarious.
I love how he just starts the promo out with whatever he tweeted earlier in the day. It's like this philosophical whatever the hell, and this is the first thing that he says. I think his promo should only be some of whatever he tweets. Like, just get philosophically annoying and then just leave. Drop the mic.
And Michael Cole calling him a prick afterwards was really the final nail.
Michael Cole is doing his best work just going at Cena.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just absolutely going. Corey was like, I get it. Like, you got a point.
Yeah.
I hope it moves past I hate the fans, because
I think you only get one of those.
I hope so, because like it was good for what it was, even though it's just like, John, I don't believe you believe these words. Like, I get you're playing the character, but the best heels are the ones you believe they actually believe it, like the Miz. Like I feel like the Miz believes almost every single word he says about people.
Absolutely.
But Cena's just like, you're bagging on the fans. And it's just like, I don't fully buy it. And if he kind of tied in the Cody Rhodes somehow, I think it could have been a little more stronger. But hey, we still got 4 more weeks to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
so I hope, he said what he had to say, fuck you to the fans, and now focus it back to Cody. Like, why did you do it on Cody? It's because he said he's your new toy.
Yeah, he was getting there. He was getting there, and he stopped himself.
Yeah, and then Cody. Yeah,
we got enough. So. We have room for what exact? Are we getting more detail about why he's aligned specifically with The Rock? You know, are we getting more deep? Like, I think if they do this right, which we can hope, it's 50-50, then we'll start to get more details, and some of the layers of John might still shed. There's still there might be some character development, because I didn't think that this heel turn was going to be a long-term thing anyway. He was retiring at the end of the year. We only got maybe summertime, maybe between now and SummerSlam before he swaps back.
He turns back. You think so?
Yeah, he's not retiring as a heel.
Think about this also. SummerSlam's going to be in New York. What better place to turn it around?
Yeah, all he has to do at that point.
New York, we're such a heel city, though.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
All he has to do at that point is turn on The Rock. Whatever the alignment of him and The Rock and whoever else The Rock puts in whatever little crew, he just turns on them. Done.
Yeah.
I think the New York crowd is smart enough to play along. And then at that point, we have the holiday season with John Cena left. That's it.
Yeah. I think his last appearance is going to be in Massachusetts.
What better time for a John Cena face turn than back to school season? New merch, baby.
God, new merch. New merch, baby.
Perfect.
That's a very
that
time
wins
point.
now.
That wins. That wins.
Stay in school.
That wins. That totally wins. Here's the
I wouldn't hate it, but I do need a little more character development as this heel progresses, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need the details, and to your point, it needs to be believable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and he did sell the point of I'm not changing my gear, I'm not changing anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you're gonna be a heel, though, you need to change something.
He needs to slap a child.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. Listen,
that will do it.
But here's the thing.
Maybe his moveset, like I don't know, like if he still does like the shoulder tackle, you can't see me.
Five moves of doom.
Instead of you can't see me, he says
or something like that.
A little jerk off motion instead. It's a 5-knuckle shuffle.
Or he
right?
can bring that stupid power punch he did when he was like trying to learn.
No, we're not doing that.
It was so bad.
whatever that was.
That's one of those, like, whenever the conversation around certain things happens, I would love to just be on the fly. Like, at the moment when they said, "Yeah, let's do it," who was in the room? Who did you say, like, this is what it's gonna be a power punch?
Yeah, whatever it was.
Vince and Bruce Pritchard, and that's it.
And they were like, yes.
I love it.
No, but John Cena does need his heel making moment. So in comparison, I think when you look at Mercedes' legacy, especially in NXT, her heel making moment was during the Iron Woman match between her and Bayley when they ran it back, and she stole Izzy's headband and made a child cry.
Yep.
That was
television.
One of the great television, classic ultimate heel moment. And that made her character.
Yeah.
Hogan doing the spray paint.
Hogan spray painting people,
Yep, that was the big one, because that was that was next month. That was next pay-per-view. That was Road Hog Wild.
Yeah.
Yep.
When what was the number one that I could think of very recently? Dakota turning on Tegan Knox in NXT TakeOver War Games that we were there for.
Yep.
You need to have a classic. Cena didn't really have it. I mean, like, he had it, but now he needs to have something else. Like, he needs to take a kid's side and like rip it up or something like that.
Yeah, like the moment was kicking the balls.
Yeah.
Right? That was the moment he actually turned, but you need something to solidify it.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're looking for. And yeah, like the bashing on the fans is step one. But a heel shitting on fans is almost cheap heat.
It's classic.
But it is classic cheap heat, but Cena did it in a point where he knew what the crowd was going to do to his words to prove his point.
Yeah.
He's just like, it's like, yeah, you all this say what you want to say, but you don't even think about me. They go, shut the fuck up. He goes, exactly. Right? So like in that case, he made it work. But details, you just got to move forward a little bit.
He's got to continue to do dastardly stuff. Like we need to see we kind of need to see word life Cena in a more heelish form, like less comedy word life and more just like I'm actually supposed to be a heel word life Cena.
Yeah.
Like just dragging on people. What I really want to see before we move forward, I want to see him and The Miz again, because after all of the talking about John Cena did about The Miz won. The Miz won.
The best part.
Yeah, The Miz won the whole feud, and I will never agree to anything else. The Miz beat John Cena in the line of that feud, and I need to see.
If you want to make the argument, you can make the argument that Cena's never actually lost a feud altogether, except to The Miz.
Yeah, The Miz beat him. It's over. The Miz won.
Dude, it's The Miz is John Cena's Eli Manning.
Oh.
I don't know who that stings more, my Patriots fans or you Giants fans. Which is why it works so effectively.
It does work so well. You know what it need to happen too is that the one time we did see John Cena kind of turn heel is the lead up to WrestleMania 39 when he told Austin Theory exactly how his career was going to go, and Austin Theory lost on a crossbody on Raw. So
I know, dude.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was like, "Oh my god, that poor
child,
Grayson Waller." Austin Theory got squashed by like the opening move in WWE 2K.
And man, if it wasn't for this Grayson Waller link up, where would he be right now? That was a rough one to survive. Even think about the back and forth with Roman. This is like
he'd be in HOG Wrestling.
Pre Heyman Roman was on shaky ground after that.
Yeah, he was.
I'm still here because you can't do your job. It's pretty strong, bro. That could have been a bad one, man.
Yeah,
like without the bloodlines, that was.
Yeah,
when Cena wants to throw a haymaker, he definitely does.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest ones is Austin Theory, and he's just ever since he beat John, it's not been going well for him.
How do you say if I beat you, you lose? If you beat me, you
lose. Still lose.
It's like, well, what am I watching the match for?
Pretty much.
Exactly.
I think we talked about it in the show. I was like,
just
put Austin Theory in a lose-lose. Like, no one's going to care about him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky, you called that perfectly. And I remember watching it too. I was like, oh God. And we talk about it on that show that next week. Like, did he just? Because we had a huge fight about Austin Theory cashing in during his career, and we were like had strong disagreements. We came into that episode like, yeah, Austin Theory's career is fucking over. It's over.
Over. Very much over. And
Austin Theory is such a great talent.
Austin Theory was very much saved by Gargano on the way when they showed he had comedic range, and he was perfect. The Way is a very underrated faction because they were absolutely hysterical and they were heels.
I mean, Indy came into her own there.
Index.
Exactly.
Index.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a great time, and that was a great time in the NXT run. For all of that. But let's move on to other highlights going on in WWE. Oh yeah, Roman's back. Roman said, "Let me make an appearance before you guys go overseas, so I don't have to do this. So I don't have to go overseas." It's pretty much.
I'll see you when you get back.
Pretty much.
Safe travels.
No, he is showing up on SmackDown, I think, this week.
Yeah.
He has showed up on SmackDown. But Roman came back to a very electric MSG crowd. It's so electric that Andrew Schultz was a face. Let's let that sink in.
Andrew Schultz is always a face. So how is Andrew Schultz a heel?
Andrew Schultz was a face because he was compared to his segment, because he did a segment with Logan Paul.
I know, but I mean, Andrew Schultz is from New York, so when is he normally a heel?
When he's doing anything else.
I like Andrew Schultz. People don't like Andrew Schultz. What's wrong with Andrew Schultz?
Look up the Kendrick Lamar stuff. That's why.
Oh God, was he Team Drake?
No. It's kind of worse than that, but I'll let you figure that out on your own.
Okay, I'll give that a Google off screen. But yeah,
you might not like what you read.
Hilarious.
You might not like what you read. But anywho, the Roman Reigns came back. He helped Seth win, And then he also beat up Seth.
Kind of?
Yeah, he beat up Seth and CM
Technically?
Punk. Technically, he had to win. We don't know where this is going to go. Obviously, we're getting Seth, Punk, and Roman on SmackDown, which is kind of the reason Seth showed up on Raw. He's like, hey, this is great. I'm going to SmackDown. That's literally his promo.
Yeah, that's what he did. He's like, you want to see me here, right? Well, watch SmackDown.
Yeah, watch me on another show. So I don't know where this is going to lead. This is obviously, I think, going to lead to some sort of wild triple threat. But, Ayo, is this the right move to do Roman, Seth, Punk in a triple threat?
That's a great question. I think the way that they set it up with Seth just kind of beefing with everybody makes it intriguing anyway. I think this is probably night one. This is probably not the main event. I think you end night one with the Uso win just to send the crowd home yeeting. Is it the right move? Like the three of them could have like a one-on-one feud in any combination. So
yeah,
I don't think this is the end of it either way. And I think the three of them are also smart enough to really do a triple threat non-traditionally, where it's not like we throw somebody out the ring and then just have a pseudo one-on-one for 2 minutes. It'll be good. It'll be good. I think the triple threat is really good because we still have the Heyman factor, right? There's the favor that Heyman owes CM Punk is going to come into play. I still think that The Rock had agreement with somebody else at Elimination Chamber also, because there was no actual action besides Seth stomping Punk that helped Cena win. So maybe Seth is somehow involved with The Rock at some point also. You know what I mean? Because like, who's to say like Cena wins that match? What was the guarantee? There wasn't anybody that helped him. The segments were out of order any other way. But I don't know. It'll be dope. I think the three of them they can pull it off. But I would love to see Seth versus Roman. We've seen Seth versus Punk like 3 times. I think they did that cage match just to be clear that you're not getting them one-on-one at Mania.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Roman and Seth in a little bit, but there's still time for that.
I like the idea of Seth being the third member of the Rock faction.
Yeah.
Because it would make great sense.
I think that's the move, like I think Seth has had his frustrations as far as not being able to win the title. He's had his frustrations as far as still being, in Roman shadow. Rock and Roman are clearly not on the same page right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's enough there where I'm like, Seth in the Rock is interesting.
Yeah, very much. Well, is the triple threat the right move at WrestleMania? Because it's definitely leading to a triple threat.
Yes, because where else would they go?
Fair.
I mean, these
somebody
three
would be the odd person out if they didn't do it.
Exactly. So the story's there, revolves around Heyman, right? That makes sense. What happens there? I like what you're saying with Seth and The Rock, but my problem is that this match cannot main event.
No,
I don't think it will.
And I have a few reasons, but I've been thinking about this. So typically, my principle, right, is what Triple H said in the last presser: whatever has the most attention, whatever gets the most buzz, is going to main event night one, right? Which, great, makes sense. However, I think this match probably has the most buzz that could main event night one. I think Gunther and Jay has lost a lot of steam because they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again on Raw.
Yeah.
And, the women's matches, I don't think are there. Tiffany and Charlotte's getting there. The triple threat on the other side is Metza. It's okay. But this match really could main event because people care about it the most. However, it wouldn't make sense because the whole motivation behind Seth attacking Punk is, if I can't main event WrestleMania, neither can you, bitch. And now, in me preventing it, we're both going to main event WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. It just doesn't make storyline sense. It's like, so why are these guys fighting? Just for what? So this match can't main event.
Yeah, which is very interesting too, because this will be also the first WrestleMania that Roman Reigns hasn't main evented, and I think
since 2020.
Since 2020, yeah.
Which is fair because
before that he main evented in 2019 and 2018, I think as well.
Yeah.
But I think that Roman doesn't lose anything at all. Like, we understand that anytime Roman is going to be in a title picture, period, is going to be the WWE Championship picture. It's not even the Gunther title. You know what I mean? So we know what time it is with Roman. He's just on his feud shit right now, which is kind of dope. And they're gonna get a good amount of time for this also. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be a triple threat that entrances included might be a full 45 to an hour. You know what I mean? Like, Roman's gonna take 10 minutes to walk to the ring, so you got 50
Seth's
minutes.
gonna take 5 minutes to get out of his outfit.
It's gonna be 19 burn it downs by the time he hit the next song. Punk might be the quickest.
Punk's definitely gonna be the quickest. It's gonna be the first one out.
I can see them bringing Living Color out to play him out. You know what I mean? So
they've done it before.
Yeah,
that's possible. That's totally possible.
He didn't wrestle.
This is his first WrestleMania back.
Yeah, he didn't wrestle last year. He was on commentary.
Yeah.
So they'll pull out a little bit of extra salt and pepper for that man.
Yeah, they'll do fun with that. So that to be determined. Speaking of triple threats, as Will kind of alluded to a little bit a couple of seconds ago, this also kind of might lead to a triple threat technically. We had Bianca.
I got my name on the contract. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, Bianca and Io signed their contract. Rhea came out and was like, I need to be in this title picture, even though she's not technically in the title picture. And then she put her name on the contract, and the contract table no sold for the powerbomb, which is very surprising.
That was so rough.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that sucks.
No sold for the powerbomb.
We know where all of the Netflix money has been spent. On tables.
On tables.
On tables.
On tables.
Absolutely on tables. I like this idea. I don't like the execution of this because I think they're missing the easiest point to put Rhea in. If you look at the match between Rhea and Io, Bianca clearly puts her hands on Rhea in front of Ref Jess's face, and Ref Jess does nothing. That technically, by rules of all things wrestling, should have been a disqualification. And it just didn't happen. And the fact that Rhea has yet to bring that up as a legitimate excuse kind of baffles me. When, like, they're just making Rhea bully her way into this, when she doesn't have to bully her way, she has a reason to get another shot at this.
Rematch clause is no longer a thing?
No.
It hasn't been in
Not really, yeah.
And not
only
not
in
only
GM
that,
mode.
Say they don't go that route, right?
Yeah.
And they still, the title change, Io's still a champ. Like, Rhea is not supposed to be a heel, and nothing she's doing is likable at all. First of all, this is just not how contracts work, period. So
yeah, from a legal perspective, it doesn't work that way.
That's not how, and she just comes off like super whiny. Why? The easiest thing here, post the title change, would have been Io to just call out, look, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect me. I'm going to beat both of you on the biggest stage. I'm challenging you. Pierce, make it a triple threat. Boom.
And that's
we're
what
done.
a face would do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a few story points in
that we're missing. Yeah.
Like, I don't, and we're going the dumbest route.
Yeah.
We cut backstage to Rhea. My name is on the contract. That's not how it works. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Like, maybe in Australia.
Yeah, like,
here in America.
Get Cenough and Barnes on this case, man. That's
Cenough and Barnes.
That's not how this works.
Yeah, there's a lot better ways. Like, the triple threat is great. I ideally wanted to see Bianca and Rhea out as a one-on-one. I thought everybody did. I thought that's where they're going, and then they put in Io. And, like, listen, Io's a primetime player, a big game person. So she's gonna put on a match. Her and Bailey was a great match last year. Like, Io's good. I didn't think they should have shoehorned Io into what's clearly going to be a Bianca and Rhea feud.
Yeah.
But
Io and Bailey was a good story.
Yeah.
It was a very good story. The match was
Match is better than you think if you watch it back.
Yeah.
I personally think Io was incredible. Like,
yeah.
I think Io is really dope.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even going back to the beginning of all of this, like, why isn't this just a straight up one-on-one with Rhea and Bianca? Like, this is what we've wanted for so long. Like,
that's
why
what they teased at Elimination Chamber.
Like, I don't understand why. Like, let's find something else for Io to do. It was just weird how she won the title clearly as the third wheel. So I feel like what's going to end up happening is she eats the pin regardless of who goes over.
Yeah, and she's so clearly a transitional champion.
Yeah, and that's disrespectful. I think Io was way too dope for that.
Yeah,
personally,
I agree. So you have Bianca in this storyline, and then Bianca's doing double duty in technically another storyline where Naomi did it for Bianca, not The Rock. Naomi did it for Bianca. in a very interesting soap opera like segment.
Yeah, it's like, Christ, are these bitches dating? Like, what?
Like where they talked over each other a little bit. And it's interesting because I don't know where this is going. I think this is clearly leading to Jade versus Naomi in probably a night one match. I do enjoy what Bianca and Jade, and to an extent Naomi, do really well is tell stories with their clothing. They've done that very, very well.
Go on.
You have, obviously, in this picture that we see here, if you're watching us live, Bianca's in mourning. She's in all black, but she's still trying to shine, hence the sparkliness on her garment. Naomi is mourning for something completely different. And then when Jade showed up later on in the segment, Jade was out for blood because there was literally drops of blood on all of her white outfit because you wanted to murder Naomi. So there's a lot of storytelling going on with that. Hence, also, when you go back to Elimination Chamber, Bianca and Naomi came out in all white, playing all of this innocence. Jade came out in black, being like, I'm here to kill somebody. So there a lot of this story is being told in the outfits that they're wearing thus far. The bigger thing, I think, here, which I think went past a lot of people's heads, is when Naomi finally confesses that she did it, and she did it for Bianca and all of this stuff. There is a thread that I don't know if they're going to move forward with, but I think they should. Naomi says, as Bianca's walking out the ring, every time I try to stand up for myself, you all turn on me. Which is a very very layered commentary. And if I'm a person in that writer's room, I would be like, that's the feud. That's how you get Naomi to villain. Use that truth, because that's clearly a truthful statement. That's a shoot. That's a shoot statement from Naomi, and you could work with that. But I don't know if they're going to do it. And that's, I like where this could go, but I don't know if they're going to harp on the major points that they need to harp on. What are your thoughts, Will?
I think you can prove that point without referencing an embarrassing moment for both the company as well as the party involved.
Fair,
Meaning you're hinting at the incident with Sasha and Naomi when they both walked out of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, yes, that's all been put to bed. Like, they mentioned it when Austin came back, and Austin talked about it since. Because, time heals all wounds.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't even know how fresh that wound is with Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
So I think I get what you're saying, and I think that's a very good line, and it's a very good thread to pull on.
Yeah.
It's more like if you know kind of a thing.
Yes.
But to make it front and center, I don't think is a good move for the company in the business. But that storyline is like that theme. It can be hinted at, like you said, like probably one of people's heads. That one of my head, right? But people like you, if you know, can point that out, and people who like it can like it. So
yeah,
I think WWE always has that argument in that case that it was a different regime. Like they left during the Vince regime.
Yeah, true.
So it's
that
a
was
different
Vince.
vibe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason not to bring it up, though, right? You don't want to yell, "Let sleeping dogs lie" kind of thing.
I think WWE's I don't think they would do that on TV, like so explicitly. Like they wouldn't say this is not the Vince regime anymore. What they would do is, I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but it does make sense that they specifically target a lot of basically micro influencers, let's say. So it's people with podcasters that aren't that big, 500. They send a lot of press and wires to them and stories to them, So don't be surprised if you get a knock on your email door from hey, this is our angle, this is our point of view,
Paul.Levesque at WWEcorp.com. I got a scoop for you.
Hunter.biz.
Hunter.biz. It's interesting to see where this goes. Like, WrestleMania is really going to heat up right now, especially because listen, you have your main storylines that have been cooking for the last 3 weeks or so, like Elimination Chamber, and like starting Elimination Chamber, keep going. Now you got to build these lower feuds. You got to build Bianca and Jade and Naomi. Sorry, you're building Priest and Drew. You're building Randy and KO. Like if you're really watching, the card's almost done. Like everything's almost very in place. It's very close.
It just needs to be announced.
Yeah, it needs to be announced.
I'm still like, I really like this Naomi and Jade feud. Like it is playing out very, very well.
It's got a lot of meat that it could really go with.
It still has a lot of legs after it though too, because it's like, how else is Bianca involved?
It's a good question.
Because she's playing, I think she's playing the victim really, really, really well.
Like she's not actually a victim and she's more of a perpetrator.
Yeah. Like, I totally could see her turning on Jade, or, because Jade hasn't confronted Bianca. Jade hasn't talked to Bianca. Jade hasn't spoken on a microphone. She had that thing with Kathy Kelly, and then, Liv Morgan comes by with the like,
in the most northeast New Jersey thing I've ever seen on WWE TV. I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's the best. But like Bianca is not done with this story, which I also like as much as it adds to this story, it takes away from the EO and Rhea story,
because this is the better story.
Being tugged in two directions. This is the way better story, of course.
I mean, again,
which I didn't think Bianca should win the chamber. Go ahead.
And then, but also with like triple threats, like that's just no DQ.
Anything can happen.
Right. So, is there a Jade or a Naomi interference in some way, shape, or form in the title match?
Oh, if Jade comes down and screws Bianca,
it's possible.
After she wipes the floor with Naomi, she just comes down and just destroys Bianca.
Also, another thing to think about.
Rhea gets the win.
Also, another thing to think about: does the Rock have any agreements with any of the female talent? Could the Rock
Naomi's in the bloodline?
Correct. Yeah. Could the Rock be helping Naomi out with all of this? I mean, I think it's intriguing if the Rock is really going to play the Samoan Mr. McMahon for the modern era, and be the final boss. I would like to see his influence on a bunch of different people in WWE, where he doesn't necessarily have to be around, but there are people who are on the roster who work for the final boss. Seth could be one of them. Seth would be a huge shocker because he's next to like Cody. He's the next big face. Naomi would kind of be a shocker, but kind of be believable. I mean, you can even add Nia Jax. They need to give her something to do. But the final boss influence, I think, is something that could be really intriguing moving forward, especially post-Mania.
There's room for that, but I think The Rock would need to be he'd need to be present more.
Okay.
Like you said, he doesn't necessarily be there for television, but his presence needs to be there.
Like video messages all the time.
Video messages, like phone calls. Like, how when Roman Reigns off TV, Paul Heyman would always go, call Roman Reigns.
Yep, he does it in GM mode.
Yes, of course he does. Like something like that. So they're like, Naomi just goes, Pierce. And he goes, yeah. Fuck. Yep. Yes, sir, final boss. Sorry. Yes, final boss Rockman. And yep, got it. Hangs up. Naomi got the title match. Right? Something like that. Mm-hmm. Something. Because I like that idea, right? The Rock's influence, the final boss's influence has something. Mm-hmm. But if he's not going to be there, he can still be present.
Yeah.
This is about to be the anonymous Raw GM.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. Thank you.
Just got an email from
Dwayne
from $7 Entertainment.
Michael Cole's like, son of a bitch. We just got an email from The Rock. It's just Hornswoggle with a laptop again.
Like, I want The Rock to be so.
The email is all in third person too. The Rock says.
The Rock says.
Like, I want him to be so heel. He replaces Prime with Zoa energy drink.
Oh, please.
Zoa's great though. It's not a promo for Zoa, but I do love that drink.
I had Zoa in Philly actually.
Nice.
They were giving away at Wale Mania.
Oh, we did. I think. Did they give us? Did we get a free one?
We got C4.
That's what it was. C4.
C4 will wake you up.
C4 was. It tasted like batteries.
There's like 700 flavors of C4. Oh.
I know, it was good. I didn't like that. I liked it.
Yeah.
The Zoa wasn't bad. I'm not a fan of Papa Tui. The body wash.
The body wash kit. Yeah.
Not my shit. I bought like the odorless lotion or body wash. I think it was the lotion. Threw it out. Not a fan.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. I stick with my Harrys anyways. But this is the Male Grooming Show. This is a wrestling podcast. Last but not least.
What kind of lotion do you use?
Yeah, right. become a lifestyle show. Last but not least, this is literally just for my own liking because this is a Chelsea Green appreciation post. Because
oh please, yes, the administration needs more love.
We need more Chelsea Green as the greatest women's mid-card champion of all time. She dressed up as Cactus Jack in Philly for a street fight. And like it's literally the entire Cactus Jack gear. Instead of saying Jack on the leggings, it says Chels. She replaced Cactus Jack's face with her face on the shirt. It's on sale on the merch at WWE shop. Like, she just gets it. She gets her character. I love that she's expanded her security detail, and it's called the Secret Hervis. Like, I need more Chelsea Green all day, every day. Her character as the U.S. champion, being a Canadian from Vancouver, British Columbia, is almost perfection. I know you're not on social media a lot. She has done presidential declarations, and she'll post
executive orders.
Oh
my God!
Yes, and she'll post them on her social media.
I can't believe this has never been done with the U.S. title before.
We got closer to the United States of KO, but he was a little bit different.
Yeah, a little different. And it's like, is her faction not called the administration? Did I make that up?
No, it's called the Secret Hervis.
No, the administration's better, but the Secret Hervis works.
Yeah, because you just added Alba Fire because they needed to give her something to do.
Yeah, because they fired her friend.
Yeah, they fired Isla. But
yeah.
I love the Secret Hervis. I think they're hysterical.
No, they're great. It's maximizing your minutes. It's what Triple H talks about. You got to maximize your minutes. She does not miss an opportunity to show off of how smart and clever and talented she is.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts, Mr. AO?
I think it's fire. Like, they should release that version as merch. You know what I mean? Like, that's a perfect Halloween little situation right there. I wonder what Foley thought of that.
He must have loved it.
Loved it. Yeah.
I wonder if he put it if he retweeted or made the comments, because he's such a fan of the business, period.
Absolutely.
He probably got a hell of a kick out of that.
Yeah, I need to
now
get
the next person that dresses up as any of the faces of Foley or Foley himself he can't beat this,
Yeah, I need to get that Chelsea Green
Cactus. I swear to Christ.
Yeah, I want Chelsea now to do the different faces for no reason. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make. She just pops up on SmackDown and do love. Chick love or whatever.
Chick love.
Shells love or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Chick love. Womankind. Chelsea. Cactus Chelsea.
Exactly.
I want her security detail to expand. Although the two people I want for her security detail, the Secret Hervis, aren't in the company anymore. But I would have loved to have seen what the Iconics would have done as Chelsea Green security detail.
You're so right. Yep.
They would have been. They might be. If you put them with Piper and Alba, and you have Peyton Royce and Billy Kay just going bananas.
Dude, it's extra funny because none of them are American. Born,
exactly.
I should say American born.
Exactly. Oh my God! I would be crying every week.
It's like Doge.
It's Doge.
Like Doge.
None of them are actual American born.
We want to get rid of all of this.
Yeah, they just want to get rid of everything. Oh my God. If I was Triple H, I get on the phone with the Icons and be like, listen, we don't need you to wrestle. We just need you to be a security. Do what you do best. Be loud and Australian and just cause a ruckus.
Because did she give Piper an actual title? Is she like a defense secretary, but she gave her an actual
I forgot what her actual title was.
It's you're Secretary of State, you're Department of the Head of the Treasury.
Yeah. I know they're collectively called the Secret Hervis, but that Secret Hervis needs to expand.
Yeah,
it definitely needs to.
As long as they're all not Americans,
all foreign-born people,
born. Yeah. All foreign-born.
Yeah. So shout out to Chelsea Green. I got to give it to her.
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea Green. Incredible.
Absolutely amazing. It's just chef's kiss, and she won the title on Long Island, so she is a Long Islander by default. Also by marriage.
She's doing way better than the Intercontinental Champion,
Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, I mean they don't give her much to work with.
Now she's going up against Raquel next week.
Yeah, by that I mean they give her plenty of ring time. They don't give her any character development beyond the woo.
I was about to say
in the
that was it.
entrance
Like
song.
she's just now getting people, to chant "woo" during the song.
Yeah.
The matches
it.
are dope, but there's no real direction there for her.
That's what I
No.
mean. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but that's the problem though. AO, like everyone can work,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's the problem with
we're in
modern
the, we're in
WWE.
a generation
Everyone
that
can work.
everybody bell to bell
Everybody can
hold it
go.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and WWE is more about the storytelling in the moments than the actual wrestling.
and even just like a connection with your character in the audience.
That too.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea
This-
Green, she fucking
exactly.
gets it, and
Exactly.
if she gets it, she's into it. Us as an audience,
We're
we
into
get it, and we're into it.
Yeah.
Or we think it's fucking annoying, which is even better because she's a heel.
Yeah.
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 So-
I mean, if you also look at it, Mia Yim's getting into her character. Like the long back attack is one of the funniest things in wrestling.
Oh my
I was
god,
like,
is that when she twerks?
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, it's the long back attack. I'm like, it's just her twerking.
It's just her twerking. But but to be fair though, she has a
just
really long
slender.
back.
Yeah, she's
She has a
slender.
very long back.
It is crazy. All right, we can talk about shenanigans all, but that is the end of our show this week. I want to thank Mr. A.O. Baker, the Ringside Club of the Signature Moves
Yes,
show.
sir.
Please promote your stuff, Mr. A.O.
Man, I first of all thank you fine gentlemen for having me on this program.
Absolutely.
Just dropped a brand new hat just in time for WrestleMania season. If you go to wrestlehats.com, I dropped the hat that I'm wearing. I'll bring this up a little closer so you can see it.
I like it.
This is a leather trucker hat. This is a classic silhouette as far as pro wrestling goes. But this is, leather. It says everything is pro wrestling because if you look outside, pretty much everything is.
That's true.
This is through my brand, Part of My Fresh. So, I have the Part of My Fresh logos pretty much everywhere. It's official tissue, really, really good quality. I dropped on 3/16 day this past Sunday, and pretty much I've almost sold half of the inventory. It's moving even
Nice.
faster than I expected. But you can pick that up right now. It's at wrestlehats.com that you order today. I'm sending them out tomorrow pretty much like as quick as possible. I know a lot of people are heading to Vegas and trying to get their outfit together. So make this one of your pieces, man. Wrestlehats.com. Other than that, I'm just chilling. You can catch me. I am a Ringside Club representative. We'll be on Thursday, 9:05 live. And yeah, it's pretty much it. Partofmyfresh.com, wrestlehats.com, and therinsideclub.com. Oh, I just dropped the Heinz commercial, which is really, really dope to say. So
You what?
yeah, I wrote a commercial for Heinz, 3 of them actually.
The ketchup?
And the baby food. I flew to London.
Oh, okay.
I flew to London in January to
Mhm.
shoot the commercial, and it just came out last week actually.
Oh, snap.
So that's really, really dope.
Nice. I do have a question for you before we
Yes,
move
sir.
on and stuff like that. So I kind of as I doom scroll as I kind of end my day and stuff. I saw you posted about a connection between Street Fighter and professional wrestling, and
Yes,
I
sir.
need you to elaborate on that for me because I have not watched it yet. I'm sorry, but I figured you were
Yeah.
being on the show, so you could just talk about it right here.
Absolutely. So the character Zangief is actually based on a former amateur wrestler that turned pro wrestler named Victor Zangief. He's from
Oh.
Russia, I believe. He wrestled amateur, but then he got trained by Antonio Inoki and wrestled. He had a short run. I think his first match might have been like 89, 90, if I remember correctly. And he was done by like 93, 94, so really, really quick. But he wrestled a bit in New Japan, and then he did 2 or 3 matches in WCW as well. They did some crossover shows, like some tag league stuff. There's not a lot of footage out there on him, but if you Google around, you can find it. Suplex based guy, but he looks exactly not like the character Zangief, but he looks like if you hear the name Zangief, what you would expect that guy to look like. Just Russian wrestler, trains with the bears type of vibe. Body hair on top of body hair. His body hair has body hair. But yeah, that's the connection. So the character Zangief in the video game Street Fighter was based on an actual wrestler, real guy named Victor Zangief.
That's wild. I'm gonna have to play Street Fighter right now.
It's a nice little nugget. It's one of those things I don't even remember how I came across that information, but I'm like, yo, that's kind of fly. So
Yeah. Everything is pro wrestling, just like the hat says.
everything, bro.
Especially the White House.
Look at the election, man. Look at the election. Look at that Tyson versus Paul boxing match on Netflix. That was about as wrestling as it gets.
It was.
Clearly that man's pulled a couple of punches in the first
we
round.
were all worked.
Of course.
Of course.
We were worked into setting viewership records on Netflix. 100%.
Yes, we were. So with that being said, Will, ready to get out of here?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hit me. That's right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 402, Cenough, because we have seen enough of John Cena as babyface. Now we need to see John Cena as a mega heel. I've been your host, King Ricky Rose. Sometimes a heel, sometimes a face. Depends on who's on the show. You can find me at Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs. Find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR _podcast across all social media outlets. Like, share, subscribe, leave us 5-star reviews. The links to all of that stuff is in the description below. If you're listening to us, make sure you're listening to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the Common Wrestling Podcast Network, and follow Wrestle Addict Radio socials at addict_wrestle on Twitter and at Wrestle Addict Radio, all one word, everywhere else. Will Tarashuk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did take this thing off because it was cutting off circulation to my brain, and I kind of need that to think. So maybe next week it'll be a little more broken in. If I go to the gym, just kidding. The gym, me, no. But ladies and gentlemen, it's Willie T. John Cena may have broken your heart, but hey, we'll get him back. Just, stay thirsty.
Yeah, just in time for back to school season. So when we come back next week, folks, hopefully AEW will show their world title, probably not. NXT is probably going to do something with Stephanie McMahon having both titles. NXT is probably going on right now as we speak. I'll be watching Daredevil in like 20 minutes anyways. And the road to WrestleMania will hopefully get a little bit more clear. And also, there's a special John Cena thing happening at WrestleMania too. We'll talk about that on the post show. So until next week, folks, goodbye, good night. We'll see you soon. And oh yeah, fuck you, Slack. Fucking Slack. This has been a Wrestle Addict Radio branded podcast.